Human rights states that everyone is entitled to a fair trial. So let's look to crime and justice to see how data is helping or hindering here. In crime and justice, rating a risk of future crime is often done in conjunction with an evaluation of rehabilitation needs. This helps ensure that aspects such as jail term and type of prison match the likelihood of reoffence. But is using an algorithm to predict risk of recidivism a good idea? Take Vernon Prater, convicted of 2 armed robberies and 1 attempted armed robbery. His risk score, according to the algorithm, 3. Compare this to Breacher Borden, convicted of 4 juvenile misdemeanours. Risk score, 8. I'm sure you can see the main difference between these 2 pictures. In 2014, then US Attorney General Eric Holder warned that risk scores might be injecting bias into the courts. He called for the US Sentencing Commission to study their use. No such study was launched, so it took an independent body, ProPublica, to uncover the hidden effect of algorithms in the criminal justice system. The score proved remarkably unreliable in forecasting violent crime. Only 20% of people predicted to commit violent crimes actually went on to do so. Even when the crime is basically the same, the risk scores are drastically different. Overall, Northpoint's assessment tool correctly predicts recidivism 61% of the time. But blacks are almost twice as likely as whites to be labelled as higher risk but not actually re-offend. It makes the opposite mistake amongst whites, who are given lower risk scores but go on to commit other crimes. Northpoint insisted that the tool was accurate under its own measure of fairness. They published a technical analysis of the data that was used in ProPublica's study, challenging the regression models, classification terms, and measures of discrimination used by ProPublica. Their central rebuttal was the lapse on ProPublica's part to take into account the different base rates of recidivism for blacks and whites. Zooming out from the case at hand, large-scale use of algorithms in any domain has common issues that need attention. Since data is often tainted with historic and structural biases, usage of such data in training perpetuates a runaway feedback loop or a garbage in, garbage out phenomena in future predictions by their algorithm. This obstructs progress and keeps societies trapped in their own mirror image of status quo. So it's crucial to consider the notion of fairness used in an algorithm's design. While Northpoint focused on accurately predicting defendants who had a likelihood to re-offend, ProPublica was more concerned with defendants who did not end up re-offending and were mistakenly classified as high risk. Their competing notions of fairness led to their statistical conflict, even though each was right in its own context. Since it is impossible for a model to satisfy all fairness criteria, defining and prioritising what we consider fair as a society is of utmost importance in our endeavours to balance the harms and benefits of such technological solutions.